Hello guys, I'm Ausra and welcome to my podcast Thinking in Sound. Today is episode number 17 and this question was inspired by our friend from our YouTube channel, Sean, who commented about my last episode where I also talked about pedal playing. So today I'm going to talk why organ pedals feel impossible and how to make them easy. I think, as beginners, pedals always look really overwhelming for people. And no, the reason for it, I think it's obvious. No other musical instrument has such an elaborate pedal board. And if you are thinking what other instruments have no pedals, you would think about grand piano. But grand piano has only 3 pedals, from which you basically use only 2 at a time. Of course, drums also have pedals. Harp also has pedals, but still, none of those pedal boards are so elaborated and sophisticated as organ. And I think we should be proud of it, and instead of being scared and overwhelmed, we should be curious and willing to try it out and to enjoy the process of learning it. I think it's very important, not to be scared and to take this big brave step. Because the beginning and forming the right pedal technique is crucial for becoming a good organist. So now, what are the most common beginner fears? As I remember myself starting playing the pedals was, of course, making a mistake, so just pressing the wrong pedal note. And of course, I think we all have that fear, and even when we are advanced, things might happen and mistakes might happen. Of course, when you are just beginner, often the pedal points are the pedal part has like large, long rhythmic values, and we often last even entire measure or even more than one measure. So if you of course hit the wrong pedal note, you need to correct yourself, obviously, because you cannot hold the wrong note for let's say 1 measure or 2 measures, so half of a page. Imagine if you are playing, let's say, Pastoral by Domenico Cipolle, and you are playing not the 5th scale degree in the pedal, but let's say instead of that the 4th scale degree. What difference it would make? Of course, it would sound completely disastrous. But just be supportive for yourself and don't blame you for mistakes, and don't be afraid to make them. And for beginners, often it's very important to find out the right position of sitting on the organ bench, because that might also affect your pedal playing and accuracy of your pedal playing. So find the right position, because when you sit down, your toes need to touch the upper pedal keys just slightly. So don't sit too close to the keyboard and too far away from the keyboard. This is very important. Another thing, don't hesitate to look at the pedal board, if you are just a beginner organist. That might help, and help you to avoid mistake and feel more confident while playing. Okay, now I'm going to give you even more tips on how to play the pedal board if you are just a beginner organist. But now I will take a break and sip some water from our beautiful Secret of Organ Playing mug. And let's thank Vidas for playing some music in the background. Well, let me go back to talking about pedal playing. Sean, in his comment about my other episode, really commented very nicely about his first organ teacher. And I felt really envious, of his first organ teacher, because he had a wonderful experience, how his teacher taught him how to play the pedal, and how he was happy after succeeding. Well, what to do if you want to have such a good organ teacher? Can you teach yourself? Because honestly, when I asked my first organ teacher how to press the right pedal, how to hit the right note, and do I need to use my toes or my heel? So an answer that I got to that question was, oh, play even with your nose. If you can just hit the right key, that's it. So no answer to my question. Either I need to to use my right foot or left foot or heel or toe. So well, what can help you? Actually, some nice method books. And if you are a total beginner, I would really suggest you the book wrote by George Ritchie and George Stauffer about organ technique, modern and early, because it's, I think, the most comprehensive survey of organ playing, and in terms of learning everything and learning in the right style with the right technique. I think this book can give you a really big support. It has both organ repertoire and exercises in both styles, early Baroque style and modern. So it will teach you how to play pedal with articulation and also to play legato technique. But the most important thing, just keep trying, keep learning, and you will become better and better with each practice. And believe me that if you will get chance to play the large organ with a big pedal division, it will give you a big satisfaction, even if you will just play, let's say, the hymn, but will play the bass line with the pedal. You already can feel that gravity and that enjoyment of being organist and being able to control such a big instrument and being able to play with the pedals. I think the pedals are what makes us so special, and that actually raises us above all other musicians. Being able to do that, it's really a great enjoyment and great achievement. But of course, it just takes patience. It takes time, and it takes learning in separate voices. Don't try to put everything together. Just take step by step, and with each day you will become better and you can enjoy it and be proud of yourself. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to my podcast, Thinking in Sound. Please send me more of your questions, because it's much easier to answer your questions rather than creating my own. And thank you very much for supporting me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it so far, and I'll see you on my next episode. Bye bye.